Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum and the fact that it has pulled back a little bit on the heightened Bitcoin volatility to the downside. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. So we discussed in a fairly recent video that a lot of times, and people don't like to hear this part, but a lot of times when there is a momentum shift of the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation, a lot of times it happens on a Bitcoin correction. Okay, this is a lot of times when the momentum shift occurs. Now, not always. There have been phases where Bitcoin can go sideways for a little bit over here, and we saw the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation start to heat up a little. If you look back in April, Bitcoin moved up, and then it more or less just moved sideways until July. And then if you look at the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation in April through July, you can see it went down and then it went back up, despite the fact that Bitcoin was moving sideways. So not every momentum shift for the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation has to come on a capitulation wick. However, we've seen plenty of times where it has happened. Most recently, just about 2 months ago, if you guys remember, we had this capitulation wick here of the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation that took us all the way down to an Ether Bitcoin valuation of 0.022. Today, we're at 0.032 or so, and we had a wick here down to 0.0317. I know that on some exchanges, it went a lot lower than that. But the things we have said before are that as long as Bitcoin volatility stays high, whether it's to the upside or the downside, we would expect the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation to bleed. And a lot of times, there will not be a momentum shift until Bitcoin volatility calms down. And quite frequently, volatility will not calm down until there's a decent correction, and then it sort of stabilizes. This is the same thing we saw that preceded this momentum shift. You can see this momentum shift that took place throughout January also came when Bitcoin was having a nice little correction. Okay, and here Bitcoin dropped a modest, 31% or so. We haven't even done a full video on this one yet, but it is interesting because the price of Bitcoin did make it to our upper regression band. We're not claiming that it can't go higher, but it was interesting that we have made it now to our upper regression band. Now, what I'm looking for here, if you're following along, what I'm looking for is, will Bitcoin hold at some level well above its 20-week moving average? Okay, so the 20-week moving average is all the way down here at over $28,000. The 21-week EMA is at $31,000 or so. So as long as Bitcoin stays well above that and does not have a capitulation down here, then I think there is a decent chance that Ether USD will recover. Okay, and if Bitcoin volatility were to calm down and we either go sideways for a little bit, maybe we trend down for a few more days and then go sideways, I still think Ether USD can recover. The main scenario in which Ether USD does not immediately recover is if Bitcoin goes back to the 20-week, but we knew this was the case all along. So these are the risks we take. This is why in one of the last videos on Ethereum, I said I'm not buying at these levels with USD. One way that I could see myself buying Ethereum is from other sells. So like if I'm selling other cryptocurrencies, which I sometimes do, I might take a small percentage of those profits on other cryptocurrencies that I'm selling and then put that into Ethereum. Okay, we've discussed this possibility before. Like imagine the ADA Ether valuation comes up here. This would be a great example of a way to hopefully time a momentum shift from an altcoin over to Ethereum. Or if you're taking profits from Bitcoin at these levels and you're looking for somewhere else to put it, obviously stablecoins could be a place that you could reallocate those funds. Or if you're taking them from wherever, right? You could always reallocate to stablecoins in the event that the major move does not come. But we've always contended that the volatility of Bitcoin is what governs the Ether Bitcoin valuation. As long as it's volatile, whether it's to the upside or the downside, Ether Bitcoin is most likely going to bleed. That's just how it works. Unfortunately, You know, it's nice to dream of a world where maybe that wasn't the case, but that's what we have to work with. That's the way it works. Volatility to the upside, volatility to the downside for Bitcoin will likely cause Ether Bitcoin to bleed. So we've been in this situation before. If Bitcoin holds at a level well above the 20-week moving average and doesn't go back into price discovery mode, like let's say it doesn't go to like 58K, 59K, as long as it doesn't do that, then there's a decent chance the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation will bounce either here, maybe it goes lower and then bounces. I don't know. The whole idea is we really don't know where it will bounce. You really can't know that, right? You really can't know exactly where it will bounce. But that is the implication. If Bitcoin holds or slowly bleeds over, say, 3 weeks, there's a decent chance the Ether Bitcoin valuation can, in fact, bounce. The main thing that would cause this not to bounce, as we said, is a capitulation to the 20-week moving average. And if we go back there, then there's probably going to be a lot of people waiting to buy in that scenario. So, you know, if you look at the Ether Bitcoin chart over the last year, this is somewhat par for the course. This does not in any way, shape, or form necessarily mean that this is the end of the road in the short term. I do think that Ether USD will trend much higher than $2,000 this market cycle. I do think that this market cycle will be longer than a lot of people think it will be. With that said, there will be corrections along the way. There will be nasty shakeouts. And as always, a lot of times for an Ether momentum shift against Bitcoin, you have to have a Bitcoin correction. We said this, we say this all the time. When it happens, it can be hard for people because it's like, but you said, no. When Bitcoin corrects, as long as it doesn't go to the 20-week, there is a decent chance the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation can go into a momentum shift against Bitcoin. Now we just have to wait and see how far Bitcoin's going to go before it stabilizes. If it does, then I would hope to see the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation turn back around. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. We also have a Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. You can also check out the premium list sale in the description below as well. That'll wrap it up for the video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.